My name is Cody LaPrade. I'm a firefighter at Station 2 on B shift on the medical operations team. Today we're going to be going over some bags and equipment that we carry on our apparatus. The team was originally established in 2002 from an incident that occurred in 1999. Two officers that were killed in a line of duty death, Officer Reeves and Officer Gilner. The team was created for the purpose of having EMS quicker on scene for an officer-involved shooting or anything of a traumatic injury. We're going to start with our first bag. It's going to be ALS 2. This is one of the bags that we carry on the MedOps unit, the gray ops, and then on our frontline unit, the actual red MedOps. So ALS 2 is going to provide any ALS equipment that we may or may not have from other units. Some things they'll have, some things we may be able to provide for them. Front of the bag is going to have a litter. This litter is essentially a mega mover. It's just a little bit more foldable. That way we can keep it in a closed compartment, more of a tight space. Just not as durable, but take your pros and take your cons. We also keep a pair of trauma shears on the front because you can never have one too many trauma shears. And then on the side right here is a traction splint for any kind of long bone injury you may have to the lower extremities. Once we open it up here, we have a bunch of stuff to go over. We can start from the top, which will just be our bleed control. So we have a bleed control in this compartment. It's going to have a tourniquet, some gauze, some hyphen chest seals for any kind of GSW you may have to your chest. We also have just regular 4x4 gauze in case it may be a minor scratch or something of that nature. Our next compartment will be an airway bag. This is just a tactical BVM. If we pop it open right here, pops out, you have a BVM. It's got the whole compartment to where you have the bag, the mask, and you're good to go. Just keeps it nice and concealed for us. That way we're not having to lug it around like we do in our regular bags. Move on to the next section, pair of trauma shears again. We have 2 darts, which are just our needle decompression pins, a Sharpie, and a pen light. We also carry fluid on us just in case. Next up in this bag is gonna be an IV kit, because the only way you can get fluids is through an IV. So open it up, it's very compact. We don't carry a whole lot of stuff on this. The main goal of our bags is to be lightweight. We don't want to have a ton of weight on this bag. This next compartment is just gonna be very basic stuff. We have a blood pressure cuff in here, along with a stethoscope and a SpO2 reading. Any way we can get just baseline vital signs on anybody, we usually just go the old school way because it's easier. Again, bringing a Zoll monitor is another massive piece of equipment, and we prefer to be lightweight. The very top of this bag is just gonna have very simple bandages, slings, just things to hold things in place. Sometimes you twist your ankle, sometimes you hurt your arm. Not everything's always a traumatic injury in that sense, but we try to keep a little bit of everything in this bag. Here, we'll move to probably the biggest thing that sets MedOps apart from the rest of the county, and that would be our blood admin program that started on February 14th of 2025. We were in the infancy stage of trying it out. We've had 64 admins as of today that I know of. And of that 64, I believe the number is at 35 or 36 to where we know that the patient benefited from it, whether they've walked home or they survived at the hospital enough to where they were put in the ICU and then were later released. This cooler goes on our gray ops truck, and then it goes on our MedOps truck. So each one is gonna have one of these. It's gonna be set at somewhere between 3 degrees Celsius and I believe 6. So if we click this button on right here, so right now we're sitting at 3.9 degrees Celsius. That's just to keep the components of our PRBCs, which is just plasma red blood cells that we use along with our plasma. Once we open it up, you can see from here, this unit specifically carries 1 and 1. So we're gonna have one of the PRBCs and one of the plasma. The reason being this one carries 1 and the other unit carries 2 is the red MedOps unit is strictly always in service. So anytime we have a call go out in the county, whether it's an extrication, a shooting, or a traumatic event that could use blood components, the red MedOps unit will be first dispatched to that. If that unit is on a call, then the engine crew will actually backfill our gray truck, which is second MedOps, MedOps 2 is what we call it, and they'll actually respond to it. So red MedOps is more likely to go to these calls, so we stack it with 2 of the PRBC, 2 of the plasma, and we leave a backup unit in here just in case. So this is probably the most fun reason that we get to be on this team. Not everyone in the county gets these. Usually if they do get any kind of body armor, especially on our engines and rescues out in the county, it's usually black and red and it just says fire across it. These are actually custom made for us on the team. So this is my personal gear. Everyone has their setup in a little bit differently. I prefer it this way, but there are consistencies across the board for most people's gear. And that's gonna be, you have a radio pouch on either your right or left side. Everyone's always gonna have an IFAC on them, which is a kit that's meant for you. So if you were to take a random round while being out on a call out, even PD actually keeps these on them as well. Obviously they're more than likely to be involved in something of that nature. If you were to open an IFAC of this sort, usually what you're gonna have in there is gonna be some chest seals. So sometimes when the bullets hit our vest, depending on the caliber of that round and what your vest is rated at, or if you take multiple rounds in the same spot, those bullets sometimes can splinter and shrapnel and go through your plate. We'll have our hyphen chest seals in there, again, for any kind of chest wound. I keep a Z-fold gauze in there as well in case I were to have a junctional injury that I may need to use on myself, such as, again, shoulders or pelvic area. I'll keep a set of gloves on me in here just in case. And then I will keep a NAR bandage abdominal wrap on me. Again, if I were to take it in the stomach, take it in the leg, wherever I get hit, I could use this on any pretty much portion of my body to wrap and keep that compression on it to help with that wound. And then I keep a SWAT tee on me as well. Again, sometimes SWAT tees, you may need it, may not, but it's a good little place to just keep it on you. Again, sometimes you may have to jump to another patient, you may have to jump to yourself. It's always good to have backup gloves on you. Also, when it comes to your IFAC kits, some people keep tourniquets in theirs. I prefer to have my tourniquets as a easy access, so I don't want to have to pop open this flap to get to my tourniquets. I also keep them positioned in 2 different spots, but my first one's on my left side. I'm right-hand dominant, so I like to keep the easy access one on my non-dominant side. The harder access one actually stays on my back right side. So whether I get hit on the front or my back side, if I fall forward on my left or on my right, wherever, I have 2 points of access that I can grab a tourniquet from, and it's not concealed to just one area. We also keep our comms on us. So sometimes when we are working with our SWAT team, it's not always a house. Sometimes it might be a Walmart, sometimes it might be a Marriott hotel where you have multiple levels that you're having to traverse. Sometimes being loud and being able to just use your portable as the speaker is not always the most ideal. You don't necessarily obviously want the guys to know where you're at unless you want them to know where you're at. So we have this fancy little device right here. Your radio would actually hook in to the portion on this side, and you can take the tail end from your helmet and it plugs in right here. Once you plug it in and your radio is active, all of your comms will come through your headset and you can use this button on the side right here to talk. So this again is we don't utilize it a whole lot. Thankfully, most of the stuff that we are doing does not require us to be very quiet. We're usually very loud when we're on our SWAT calls and things of that nature. But again, it could be something that we have to use. We always have it in our tool for that case. But again, as far as the bags go and the plates go, this is what we do have to offer as MedOps. If you ever are intrigued or want to know more about us, you can always find us at Station 2, A, B, or C shift. We're always here for you. You know where to find us.